How's it going, everyone? It's Johnny Bede here with another episode of the Streamer Stories podcast. My guest today is the brilliant Curse Pirate.
How we doing?
I'm good, Madzid. How you doing?
Yeah, no, we're not bad. Surviving. We are surviving at this end.
Fair play, mate. Fair play. So, obviously, we know each other very well, don't we? I'm so happy I got you on here. But for those who don't know, can you tell us who Curse Pirate is? Where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube. I not so long ago made my transition from Twitch to YouTube a few months just before Christmas, in fact. And yeah, it's been quite a ride. Quite a ride.
So, what type of content do you do then? You're a streamer.
I do. I currently am just drumming along some glorious tunes for the soul, as I like it.
Nice.
But yeah, it's all through Clone Hero. I have an Elisa Strike 2 Pro setup as my drum kit, my expensive controller.
It's a heck of a setup. Again, if you haven't seen Curse Pirate in action, he's awesome, and yeah, it's a heck of a setup. To be fair, I remember you because again we knew each other well. I remember you. I think you unboxed it, and I was like, oh god damn, that's wow.
Yeah. Even when I got it here, it's sort of crap. This is going to take up a lot more room than I thought.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Fair play. And honestly, you're so talented at it.
Thank you.
But that's now. So let's talk about childhood. Let's talk about games we played in childhood. We won't go into the nasty stuff. We're going to the game stuff.
You know too much. You know too much.
That's the dark side of the streamer stories. That's my spin-off coming this summer. Not.
Man, there'll be some stories.
Oh, I bet there would be.
So childhood growing up, my first real game, if I go right back, the first real one I can really remember is Alex the Kid.
Oh wow, what a start! Yeah,
that's the first real one I can properly remember, and I always just remember getting stuck in the underwater levels. I never really got far with it, kind of new to the console-ish style gaming at the time.
Is this Master System or Mega Drive or?
I think it was the Mega Drive. It was inbuilt.
Okay. Oh.
So yeah, it was. You didn't need the cartridge for it. There was no blowing of any holes or shit like
that. No. I think that was Master System, But then again, you know what? You're the second person I've had on the show that's mentioned literally that detail, and I'm like, I need to check this out because I never had it. I never had that in build.
No, I didn't realize at all. I just sort of one day came across and turned it on, and there was no cartridge in it. It just popped up with something. I was like, oh, okay, let's try this. But yeah, it was a nice little platform game.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was Miracle World on the Master System, and then I think it was I never had a Master System, and then I played the Enchanted Castle, so that's what I'm familiar with. Which again, I don't know about Miracle World, but Enchanted Castle had in the water levels, and yeah, so I can relate.
So then, sort of after that, I remember playing a lot of Sonic. On the handheld Sega little thing. I can't remember what that was called either. I think you were the last one to mention the name of it too.
Is it Game Gear?
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. There you go. So yeah, the Sega Game Gear. So I'm playing a lot of Sonic on that.
Oh wow, God! Well, those are different Sonic games, aren't they, to the ones that are on the Mega Drive and the Master System?
Yeah.
Because every single console, again, had their own set of Sonic games. Mm-hmm. So your experience might be slightly different.
Yeah, it's slightly odd. I've been quite picky and fickle with my game choices as it goes. I've not really. I'm a sucker for a good storyline, but sometimes the game will throw me off.
Right. Yeah.
Like I some like strategy games and things like that. The only real one I seem to remember enjoying was on the Red Alert 3.
Right. Okay.
Which,
yeah.
So that was World War based, and it had Tim Curry in some of the cutscenes. But that was the only real sort of strategy game I really got on with. The rest of them, I don't know. I just always put my controller down and just passed it on. It's been odd. My sort of moving forward, growing up with gaming and sort of how things have progressed. It's been very small circles. I've always been about small circles. As people that might know me will probably attest to.
Fair play. I mean, so you didn't have like a console? Did you have consoles in your home, or did you go to a friend's house? What was like the setup really?
So the Alex the Kid was at home. I think it was just picked up somewhere. I was quite young at the time, still single digits, I think, at that point. About 7 or 8. The Game Gear was at my nan's, which I visited every sort of 2 weeks. I didn't really have a console per se. I had a PC all the way up until the first PlayStation came in, and then we had a console at home. That was when that kind of really started kicking in, and you had like the old school GTAs with the bird's eye view.
Oh yeah.
Spyro.
Nice. Oh, Spyro's so good. So funny when people talk about those GTA games. It's like they don't exist anymore, do they? No one talks about them.
No, to be fair, I think they were less. I mean, you look at. I try not to do it as much as possible, but yet when it can't be helped, it can't be helped. But like, if you can compare things like Marvel and DC, there's either like really dark storyline, it's depicted dark, or you can have dark, but it's really bright and vibrant and everything else. And I think that's where they kind of seem to cross. Those first few just seemed a little bit more DC edged, and then since they kind of brought them down first person, third person view, it's gone a little bit more Marvel, a little bit more bright and vibrant and engaging.
I heard. I mean, I remember watching. As you do sometimes on YouTube when you got a lot of time. I think it was like a Watch Mojo video of like the most controversial like Grand Theft Auto missions or something like that, and there was some nasty stuff in those games. Like they wouldn't get away with it today. That's for sure. Like.
Not a chance. Not a chance. I mean, there's still stuff that's going on today that you're still amazed at. Like, how is this not cancelled? You?
Yeah. It's crazy. But again, it's funny, isn't it? Because again, I mean, it's a completely different set of games. But again, there's a lot of stuff coming out. I don't know if you're a big fan of like the Persona games, the Japanese RPGs. Persona 3 is just kind of been re-released in the West on like a PC port. And it did come out in the West like about 10, 15 years ago, but it's coming out again now, and there's some really inappropriate storylines that are getting people going, hang on a minute, whoa. You can, like, something like you can date like a young boy or something like that. It's like, what?
Oh, fun.
Yes. Fun. So, things you don't get away with.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. But again, what I remember about the old GTA games was the passwords. They had some like swear word passwords, if I remember correctly.
But that kind of really hinted at where it was going, really, didn't it?
I used to read them in like the guidebooks as like to get a free tank. I don't know what the word says. Like type in asshole or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual password was, but it's like, oh, okay.
You just get the little chattering police heads down the bottom left-hand corner.
Yeah. Oh, no,
just rack it up as you go traipsing through.
Oh.
But that I used to sort of play that one because where I lived at the time it was like a little cul-de-sac right in the sort of corner at the end. And there was a friend of mine across the road that had like a lot more of them. My mum, being my mum, was and having 2 younger brothers, tried as much as she could to keep that stuff out. But I mean, we're still talking around the time when like the South Park movie came out, you know?
Yeah.
and shit as a parent at that point was getting very difficult.
Oh, I can imagine. Oh man.
Tekken was a good one though. I remember playing a lot of Tekken. Tekken 2, I think it was, when we first had Devil Yakuza. Yeah.
Yoshimitsu?
That's not Yoshimitsu.
Kazuya.
No, there was Kazuya. That's it. Devil Kazuya.
Yeah, that's like you could play as Devil or Angel, as you could at the time. Yeah,
and then you didn't realise you ended up facing him about 3 times in the arcade campaign thing as a boss. You're like, yes, I've done him, and then he evolves. Yes, I've done it, and then he evolves. Is this the last one? Please.
Who's your go-to character? Who is you?
Law.
Oh.
Law was my go-to, and then secondary Yoshimitsu. I like to teleport. Just getting those combos was quite nice.
Yeah.
And then when Steve came in, Steve was quite a good one. I did like.
He has some really interesting combos, didn't he? Because I remember just like kicking, obviously not kicking, but kicking with him and going, what?
I think when he
Oh,
first started, the kicking buttons was his like dodging, and he
yeah.
only had the punches for a while. And I did, yeah, they did bring in kicking for him a little bit later on.
No, I couldn't adjust to it. My go to is Tekken 3. So like anything after that, even to this day, right? Like we sometimes have some like Tekken fights with some of the like the Nightbreed lot or whatever, and like I'm still stuck in Tekken 3. Like I'm still Tekken 3 Brian, Tekken 3 Jin. I'm like, yeah, I don't know any new combos, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fair. Because you can just get stuck on one and just think the next set. I did the same with Halo. I was stuck on 3 for ages. Not like in the sense of that's the one.
Mm.
I wouldn't really touch 2 and touch 1. The sort of a lot of online stuff and getting around with groups of friends and things like that and playing like Ninja Naut, amazing. And then Reach happened. And that was kind of the swan song of that company just moving on and giving it to someone else. And I just think they destroyed it.
I don't think you're the only one who thinks that. That's for sure.
I think actually, to be fair, both Halo and Call of Duty seem to do a bit of a swap. Because the storyline played out as a storyline does on both of them. And the one's Halo, one's Call of Duty. Yep, the online play, Call of Duty's online play went a bit Halo in the sense of being able to jump about and do a bit more techie stuff. And then Halo went a bit, took some Call of Duty bits and pieces. And I just think trying to intermingle the two for Halo definitely didn't work. Definitely didn't work.
That's crazy, isn't it? How games influence each other, and so yeah, because they think, oh, that's successful there, that's going to be successful here. Not quite, not quite. Okay, let's talk about PlayStation. So your first proper console was the PlayStation. So what you played some Spyro, you played some Tekken. Any of the titles?
Some Crash Bandicoot.
Nice, yeah.
And a bit of FIFA. Really.
Hey, everyone's got a FIFA. What was your favorite FIFA?
See, I stopped after 2001. But I think it's got to be 2000.
I think FIFA 2000 is brilliant. That was the one with Robbie Williams' CGI, wasn't it? Oh, I like that. I'm not a Robbie Williams fan, but I love that song because of FIFA. And he was in the game, if I remember correctly.
I believe that one, because I think it was at the same time I found Madden, and that's where my EA just kind of went bang. But I've got a family history with football, hell. But it's either FIFA 2000 or Madden 2000 that had Real Big Fish on it. Sell out.
Yes, that was FIFA.
It was FIFA.
Yes, yeah. Fantastic song. Had a great.
I love that.
It's so funny, isn't it? Because I'm sure you can relate. Because hey, we're both metalheads, and we both like FIFA. That's a bit of a niche category. Can I just? I'm sure we can agree, right?
Yeah.
So whenever I say, "Oh, FIFA," some of the soundtracks are great. People tend to go, "What?"
Yeah. I know.
They got some bangers.
When you're playing Need for Speed Most Wanted and Hand of Blood comes on, it's like you can't. It's just such a driving tune. Yeah. You can't help it.
Totally. I think that's one thing actually. There's a lack of nowadays. There's proper licensed bands doing music for games.
It's all the stuff. It's like this is what's going on with the gaming industry and music. If they're using actual songs, it's only really ever going to be the stuff that they're pushing. It's what gets them most attraction. It's what they want out there. They're not gonna. It's the same. It's like putting Metallica in the Super Bowl halftime show. It's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen.
I mean, this is an interesting chat that we're having here now, actually, because this brings us really nicely into, and we'll talk about it properly later on. But like, DCMA is a massive issue, like with yourself, with Clone Hero, but like when the Grand Theft Auto trilogy came out, I know it was abysmal, but when it came out, everyone, but everyone was talking about, oh, they've missed this song, they've missed that song, but obviously they couldn't get the licenses anymore.
Yeah,
massive issue.
It is. I mean, I think games like Guitar Hero and Rock Band helped, but then also at the same time hindered. Now, when things like Guitar Hero and Rock Band came out, I don't really think they knew that the ability to do this was going to be as much of a thing.
Mm.
So then it does kind of throw in. They could have the license, and you can. I mean, as someone who's attempted to stream on Twitch, my brain goes, but the game's got the license to the songs. You know, they have they've had to be able to produce them in a certain way and make money from doing so. So they've got the licenses, and if I'm able to play the game and you're allowing me to record it, then surely that license should really cover it. Obviously, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But where like some things have sort of transferred, there could somewhere be a loophole, you know, to be able to make this a bit more of a thing where it's not really the music that you're watching or, you know, enjoying as much, because some people will they tune in just to hear the music. They'll turn you upside down or whatever and just have the songs on because they know you play some good whatever stuff. But then others watch you for things like maybe learning or just you. And that's what they're there for. And that's where I think like the copyright stuff really kind of takes away a lot of that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that is the answer really to why we don't see it much anymore. Licensed music in games is just such a complicated thing now with Twitch and YouTube. And
I get maybe like. I mean, in most games now, you can turn the music off but keep the game sounds on. And if you're then able to kind of have a copyright-free set of music over in the background instead, what kind of harm is it doing? I think it really kind of hits the rhythm gamers more than anything else. You know?
Completely. Like, I remember when I was streaming on YouTube, I was playing... it was not on YouTube. I uploaded onto YouTube from a Twitch stream. I was playing SSX on Tour. SSX on Tour. So an old game. And I was playing the game, but obviously they've all the songs on it. So I was getting like copyright strike. And it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I can't, my YouTube channel hasn't got 1,000 hits, so I can't monetize it anyway. But even if I wanted to, I'm screwed. Because all I want to do is play the game. It's a crazy thing.
I mean, that is one of the reasons I moved from like Twitch to YouTube, just mainly for like my goals. I mean, I'm no drummer in any way, shape, or form. I literally picked it up, and when I say picked it up, I tried it with the Rock Band stock plasticky shitty kit for a little while, just to kind of feel it out. But I used to be a guitarist. I severed the tendon in my little finger on my fret hand, and so instead of learning flip, I just kind of sat back, but always wanted to learn the drums. So come the pandemic, I kind of, that's when everything kind of really gave me the time to dabble. And I was getting on quite well with it and then moved across. But for me, it's been like on YouTube, I'm able to watch myself back and it's a way that I learn. So like same with football or American football, should I say. Obviously film gets uploaded and I'm able to see where I've gone wrong. And I know where I've gone wrong. And if I know where I've gone wrong, then at least my brain is aware and it's just my body needs to catch up. And I'm kind of doing the same thing on the drums. Now, as much as I'm not playing a song exactly as it should be, in the sense of every note, every hit, every sort of pedal press, everything that's going on, because it's been charted to support, you know, a game thing, but it's the closest representation of. And that's what's kind of helping me get through and pick up the rhythms and speeds and patterns, ways the sticks should move. And with Twitch, once your stream's over, you can't really watch it back. Whereas in YouTube, I can, but I can't really stream it.
Yeah.
Because the moment it gets a song that hits that copyright thing on YouTube, it just switches you off. It doesn't take your sound out. Just completely switches you off. Where on Twitch, obviously, you can play all the way through live, but then the moment you press stop, it'll check it all, then it will mute all the little bits.
Yeah.
So, albeit you want to see a bit that unfortunately gets muted because you don't really know until you've come off your stream, it's knackered. So, I'm now stuck recording, which, to be fair, I think has been a lot nicer.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit more chilled atmosphere for myself, and I can take my time.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. Just going back to Twitch, then. I mean, you could, I suppose, record like on the OBS recording setting if you wanted to. But yeah, like you said, that's source. That's then. I mean, not everyone's computer hard drives can. I mean, that's a long video if you're doing like a long stream. And I've been in some of your streams. They've been a few hours.
Yeah, I didn't. It'd be about 4 hours long. I'd used to stream.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do have a 6 terabyte hard drive sticking out the end of my laptop. They don't even sit on the hard drive once they're recorded. They go straight to it.
Yeah.
Or did.
Goodness. Yeah. Well, that's fascinating, and yeah, let's talk back about old games. But we've had a good chat about that, and we'll definitely come back to it. But so. Where did you go from? So from PlayStation, then where did you go from there? Did you go PlayStation 2?
To PlayStation 2. Yeah, I did. I missed out on things like the N64 completely. I missed out on like the startup of Xbox. I was just completely PlayStation 2 was the only real thing that existed. Really, that was it. And yeah, so things like Need for Speed, which I only really picked up from the PlayStation 2. I can't remember if there was. I think there was a PlayStation 1 release, but I don't think it was any good until it kind of hit PlayStation 2. Where I think I picked up from Underground 2.
Right.
Yeah, cause that's had some Skindred on there.
Nice. Oh.
Nobody get out alive. We know this.
It's about streaming stories, but I mean, Skindred they're so underrated. I've always said, I've been saying this for about 15, 20 years now.
Love them, so good.
Why aren't they huge?
They're big, but like you say, they're not big as they deserve to be.
No,
I don't think. But then again, that's from our perspective. We have no idea how big they are in sort of other places and sort of groups and things like that. But obviously, in ours, it just doesn't. They don't get mentioned often enough.
No,
they just don't.
It's a shame. But yeah, some banging soundtracks there in those days. That's for sure. Yeah. So Need for Speed, you play some. So yeah, let's talk about Madden then, because again, you used to play a lot of American, or you still do play American football.
I do, yeah, I still do.
So what's that like for you then, as a fan of like the sport and the games? Then, like, what? Because I mean, Madden is like completely like, for me, I've never even touched a Madden game.
Okay,
so
it's probably the best way to learn the sport.
Okay,
if I'm perfectly honest with you. Of course, like if you first pick it up, you don't know the sport at all. It's going to be confusing. So of course, like you're going to have to go through the training sessions. You're going to have to go through all like reading all the little bits and pieces and things like that, and why things are relevant. But that's to kind of pick it up. The easiest. Yeah, it's difficult because I've in the sense of understanding the sport. I was lucky in that respect because I was pretty much born in it.
Oh.
My real dad played in this country, in the UK. So we're not talking professionally; we're talking at sort of still hobby level.
Okay.
My stepdad was on the same team. My mum was head cheerleader. You can see where this is going, right? My granddad was chairman at one point. So I mean, my family had been heavily involved in the sport since long before I was born. It's about 40 odd years old in the country now. So yeah, so being able to kind of like pick a Madden game up and have a good general idea of what I'm doing, yeah, I had a bit of an edge. Definitely had a bit of an edge. One of the games I play a lot now. I've picked up every one so far. This one I only really picked up just for an updated roster. Some people moved that made a bit of a difference. Yeah. But yeah, no, I play up just generally. I just sit online a lot of the time, play a bit of Madden Draft, keep things even.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because then it's just a battle of the brains, Yeah. Like in the same with like with FIFA draft, you draft a set of players, and your team's roughly about the same, scoring going into it. So yeah, it's all about battle of the brain on that front.
Because I think that's one thing that's been, for me anyway, about FIFA. Because again, I can't even tell you anything about Madden. But from a FIFA perspective, like it frustrates me as a boomer, shall I say, that like it's the ultimate playing the card game and all that stuff's taken over now. The game feels secondary.
It does. That's the part of the game that I sit in, because that structure is pretty much the same. You have your challenges and you build your team and you can take them on, or you can do other bits and pieces. But that's the side of things I mainly sit on.
Yeah.
And it is. Yeah. So I like with Madden. I think the someone I met a few years ago in a team that I'm playing for now, but when I very first joined them, he said it best. It's like chess with violence.
Okay.
So where your pieces move, how they move, how you're going to interact, all that kind of stuff, and it is, there's a reason to be able to get into the NFL. Your grade point average has to be very, very high. Has to be. And it's just, again, like they push it through in the sense of, in case you don't make it, you've got something to fall back on. However, when you do, you've got the brain power to be able to pick up what your role is, what everyone else's role is, and how things play out. Okay. But yeah, chess with violence, perfect way of putting it. I love that.
Me too.
That's stuck with me for years, that one.
Yeah, no, that's really good. It also should be a name for a band. So yeah,
yes.
Yes.
To be fair, I said it to my wife, she went straight away to Wizard's Chess, and I got that too.
Oh, all right. So PlayStation 2. So did you go to Xbox after that, or did you go PC? What route did you take?
I went 360 after PlayStation 2.
Okay.
So I stuck with it all up until when they brought the 3 out, and the trouble I had with the 3 was the controllers, where the triggers, how they floated. It just felt so. I've got relatively large, chunky hands and a good grip.
Ooh, okay.
So those triggers, they just felt so flimsy, and I'm going to go through these controllers like no one's business, and I just don't have the funds to keep replacing them. And like, obviously the Xbox 360 ones are a lot more sturdy. So yeah, I flipped over, found Halo, and I was done. I was hooked. Like, this is not on PlayStation. Okay, no, don't worry about it. They're non-existent. They're dead to me.
And we never saw Cursed Pirate for 20 years.
Sony who? Sorry?
But just back on the Xbox 360 control pad, like, again, I was PlayStation. I was Sega, then I was PlayStation, then I got the Xbox 360 because I was adulting. Couldn't afford the astronomical PS3. And everyone's like, Xbox 360 controller is the best. I was like, no, it's not. And it's like, no. Actually, it's really good. I was like, all right,
so
fine.
Comfortable, and bits are in the right place.
Yeah.
Just that little adjustment on this side with the stick and the button, the D-pad being separate, just perfect.
Genuinely think it's the best control pad ever made. Like, I think it's perfect. And let's be honest, they've never changed it really. They've subtly tweaked it, but it's perfection really.
They took the N64 and they perfected it. That's what they did. That's where I see it.
Yeah. Goodness. Yeah. So Halo. I mean, what is that? So yeah, explain your feeling of. Do you remember your first, like, when you took the disc in? When you loaded it, what was that feeling like? Do you remember the first time you really gave it a go?
It wasn't really, because I started on Halo 3.
Right. Okay.
So I didn't really pick up on Halo until the 3rd installment, and I think like that was the perfect time. And to be fair, I've done that with a lot of other game series as well. I did the same with Gears of War. There's a few others I've done that to. And I've started on the 3rd and got back. But yes, Halo 3. And it starts off quite slow. Does Halo 3? You're sort of in the sort of woodland, foresty area, and you kind of getting to grips with yourself and making sure you can move and look at everything working, and it's just running you through basically all the basics. But then when you first start getting into a free-for-all shootout with a bunch of aliens, that at some point, if you collect the skull and you shoot them in the head, confetti comes out and they just go, yay! It makes you, if you're having a stressful day, Grunt birthday party does nothing but cheer you up. It really does.
Just you saying that. I mean, as I've watched you stream many times. That's you. That's the cursed pirate string that you just described right there.
It is. It's amazing. You have a stressful time, just go shoot something in the face and you get confetti for it. It's
perfect. Shooting the face confetti is just, wow, that's perfect. Yeah, fair play.
Yay!
Oh, wow. So when did Call of Duty then come into the equation? Because I know you
you know what? It didn't really at all. I think I played Modern Warfare, and I've played another one of the titles, and I've played. I got to admit, Call of Duty do a damn good storyline and a campaign, but I never really owned many at all. Maybe one or two. I didn't really touch it. I was very much sort of Halo through and through, and stuck with that. That's where my sort of shooter attention went. It was it's just sort of solid Halo.
Fair play. I mean, when you play games, I mean, we can talk about obviously as a kid or again, growing up. Like, did you play like with family, friends? Is that something that was always a part? I know we play a lot multiplayer now.
I'm about the difference between me and my two brothers is 6 and 7 years. My youngest of those two, we were quite good gamers, a good duo together. There was Time Splitters. There was a shooter on the PlayStation. We loved that. Absolutely amazing. And if any of you want a good night, have pick your poison, put some infected mushroom on, grab some Time Splitters, and hit the level Flock Around the Dock. And what this gives you is some progressive trance whilst you're under the influence of your poison. And there's a spot in a warehouse where pretty much it just loads you double Uzis every time.
Okay.
So it just gives you continuous unlimited ammo, and you're sitting at such a vantage point that when they just come at you, they tend to drop to the beat of the music going on. That was one of the things that just tripped me out.
Wow, yeah.
I loved that level. That happened a few times. Should we do Flock Around the Dock? Yes. Let's do Flock Around the Dock.
Is it TikTok Fuck Around the Duck? I think I said that wrong. Sorry. Sorry. Oh man.
No, you're not. I applaud you for it.
Thanks. Oh wow. No, that's a story and a half. That fair play. So, what is there like? Can you fixate on? Do you have like a favorite game of all time? Is that something that comes into the spectrum at all, or is that something that is easy? How easy is it to answer that?
I think if I'm really gonna like look at it, it's got to be Creed. It's Assassin's Creed.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a sucker for, as I say, a good storyline, and some can argue about some of the storylines, and I've enjoyed them all. From a history standpoint, I've enjoyed how they've intertwined certain details of actual history with fictitious stuff, and how that's influenced each other in this storyline. I've loved every single moment of it from the first to now.
What's your favourite of the? Oh, is that a difficult question for different eras and?
No, it's not at all. I mean, it could be kind of obvious given my screen name. Yeah. But I mean, Black Flag. It's got to be Black Flag.
Yeah. No, yeah, perhaps too obvious.
for the storyline purposes, for things like because there's so much to go through, I think I can rank so many different bits and pieces. So things like the best storyline is Unfair because the character gets 3 games and everyone else doesn't. But Ezio, the more I like it, the more you can drag a story out and the more you can make of it, then the more information and detail I'm going to get and the more gameplay. So I love that. So having him for 3. So storyline's got to be the Ezio story. Things like kill animations has got to go to Odyssey. There's if you fully upgrade the spear, you just throw it at a dude, and then you appear with it, and he's done. That's and then at a certain point he'll just disappear for you, and you can just go sneak off. Nice. I had a again like under the same pretense of if you're that stressed, shoot something in the face, it's going to give you confetti. There's also the other part of me that likes going round and assassinating everyone in a base and leaving one person.
Okay, yeah.
Just they're doing that because at some point, like I think it was in Odyssey, where they didn't take as much of a pattern when they walked. They randomized it and moved around everywhere. So in my head, I'm walking away after ransacking the whole thing, assassinating everyone so they don't hear me, and leave one guy just walking around, and it's just, huh? Where is everybody?
God. I was thinking of going down.
It's just pixels, isn't it? It's just pixels.
Just
That's all it is.
That's all. Yeah, I was about to say that sounds dark, doesn't it? When you think about it in reality, but yeah, in a game, it's just pixels, mate. It's just pixels. I think I've learned more about you today than I have in the near 2 years I've known you.
Probably.
Fair play. So yeah, no, that's a fantastic answer. So you just mentioned, obviously, you mentioned Cursed Pirate, you mentioned the influence of Assassin's Creed. Let's talk about that. So where's Cursed Pirate? Where's the username come from? Where's the aesthetic come from? As in, I know it's obviously Assassin's Creed based, but how much went into it?
Actually, no. To be fair, that it's not so much as you'd think.
Okay.
It's kind of split into two. The latter part easy enough to explain. Just again, history and an interest. You know, I've enjoyed learning that aspect of history and looking at all the different perspectives, from the piracy side to the combating piracy side to the Spanish being involved in all of this and everything that's come with it. So pirates and that history is always, again, history buff. It's fascinating, and that's same like a religion. On a history side of things, if I needed to pick one, it would be Greek mythology. Fucking love it. The curse side of things has been more my outlook on life, and things like I'm cursed with common sense.
Okay.
It's the curse because you have it, and when you're dealing with people that don't, it's infuriating, and I don't suffer fools very well at all. And then other aspects of my life that I almost feel like, it's not a phase because it happens quite a lot. And yeah, I just see it's just my curse, mate. It's just my curse.
Yeah.
Life.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, yeah. Like you said, though, it's if it's not a phase, if it happens constantly, it's a shame. It's a shame, really. Oh, but okay. So, I mean, again, a lot of games you've mentioned, and the Xbox era especially, achievements, trophies, a big part of that. Is that something that you were dabbling in? Is that something that was a big part of what you did? How much
I think it kind of depended on the game, I suppose. Like, with things like Madden, there wasn't really as much of that as you can, there's only so far you can take the trophies and things like that. For me, playing that is more, especially as once I actually picked up the sport physically, became more of a tool of just keeping my brain active. But things like, the Batman games, I definitely went through and made sure I found every Riddler trophy and completed everything in those. The only one I couldn't was the most recent.
Oh, it's not
with the Robin that comes back, Nightwing.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think what was the last entry in the Batman games, because isn't that with all the cars and stuff?
Yeah, and it was that fucking level as well.
I was thinking,
I think it's the second time round where you've got to sneak round that tank, and the first time was as much of a bitch for me to complete. To do it twice, I was like, "Fuck you." I think I must have attempted it about 15 times, and I haven't gone back to it. I got that fucked off with it. I was like, no.
I've not played the Batman games, but my wife, punches you know.
Do you know what? I mean, I'm not much of a DC fan either, but for the type of game that it is, it's really good. I've got to admit, I like for puzzles, and then because it gives you a mixture of everything. Apart from maybe like first-person shooter, but of course. But there's button bash fighting with decent animation in it. There's good level of different types of puzzle. So there's not like just one theme of puzzle throughout the game. There's like, I think about 4 different puzzles that run through pretty much as a theme. But I mean, they're it's a good one to kind of sink into, as it were.
Yeah, fair play. I've heard about that latter. Yeah.
It's a knob. It really is such a dick of a level. And to, like, the first time round, I mean, you're in a little bit more of an open space that kind of slowly gets restricted. Second time round, no, a whole bunch of nope on a rope right there.
Nope on a rope. Well, speaking of that, so is there like a hardest game that you've ever played? Is that?
That's possibly got to be the one, because this the one that so far I've not been able to go back and get past that level and complete it. For a little while, Devil May Cry 5 sat there.
Okay, yeah.
And it was the final boss with the statue, and it just took me a while. I think I walked away. I don't know if anyone else is the same, but you can go through like a little streak with a level that just kicks your ass, and you can walk away and come back and then complete it between the first and the 4th attempt at it. You just need that little break from it and come back, and you just blast and blitz through it. It's absolutely fine. But I think I must have come back to it 3, 5, somewhere around there. That many, 3 to 5 times.
Wow. Yeah. Goodness.
But no, I've still not been able to complete that Batman. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Oh man, no. So if you were like stuck on like a remote island, you have got internet connection to this island, so that's good.
Yeah.
You can only have 3 games though for the rest of your life on that island, and you are. I'm afraid to say, Curse Pirate, you are stuck on that island. I'm only asking you this. So you're a pirate. What would those games be and why?
Oh man, because oh damn it! This is a good question. It's a very good question, because you limit yourself, and then you start battling with which one's going to take that 3rd spot, because you always got a question.
Yeah.
Okay. Halo Reach straight out. That's a given. That one is a given. Halo Reach. God, if I still have my little finger, it'll be Guitar Hero. But given what I'm doing now, I'd probably, because there's nothing like music to me. I get lost in music more than I do anything else. So Clone Hero with my drums. Madden goes out of date. That would suck.
Yeah. So just imagine you on your drum kit on the beach, just sorry. It's like it's pedaling away.
How amazing would that be? Do you know what I mean? The sun blaring at you, just in a pair of shorts, or fuck it, even just me underwear.
What's he doing? He's like he's put SOS with his drumstick under the sand.
No, so I'll be enjoying the peace too much. They can leave me alone. Don't rescue me yet.
You'd just be called Pirate, wouldn't you? The curse is gone.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. So that's all I need. I just need my own island, just a stretch of beach where no fucker can come and invade my space. Yeah. Okay, so Halo, Clone Hero with my drums, and is that always the 3rd, isn't it?
It's always the 3rd. It's always. I mean, you could, I was going to say Madden does that, doesn't it? So,
it does. Do you see? I mean, how long am I on this island for? And if it's my choice, don't rescue me. So I'm there for a while, and I suppose I'll go Madden.
Yeah,
the game won't change, just the people will, and I'll just have to miss that one out.
Yeah,
chess with violence, bit of music, and something to shoot in the face. Perfect.
Sorted. sounds like a good night. Let's talk about Guitar Hero, because I mean,
as long as I'm on the rum trade route, I'm fine.
Yep, for sure. We were talking about you being one of the few guests that I've had to drink alcohol on the chat.
I've got the Rumbullion Navy strength out for you.
That's
where we are tonight. Navy strength. So that's 57%.
Let's see how far we can go.
Halfway through my second.
We've got about 15 minutes to go, so...
down in one. Is that all we go?
Every question...
I'll leave it for the end.
No, down in one every question. No. No. Yeah. I don't have a quick fire. I should put one in. Oh, man. Not tonight, though. Not tonight. Oh man!
I had a lot of fun with FNQ, and I think one of my favourite moments has to be, and I got to admit, that wasn't on purpose. I do want to put this out there. The songs that you sang,
yeah,
that was not on purpose. That was random, and they just happened to land on you, and they were perfect.
Okay, context. So yeah, well, we haven't talked about that yet, have we? We haven't talked about your fantastic. You're right.
Sorry, I'm in a bit of a fit now.
Context, people. So our fantastic friend Curse Pirate here had a wonderful quiz.
As short of the season as it was.
Yes, and I was definitely privileged to be a guest on it twice. And there was a music lyric changing round.
I have a bit of a knack for being able to just bring up random lyrics of songs. For those that know me for the Gaston side of things, did I ever do that on your stream?
No.
Come in and just drop a Gaston verse. I had loads, absolutely loads. But I'd take a song because the FNQ was Fright Day Night Quiz. It was a once a month quiz show on the last Friday of the month, and it was all horror based, so games, TV series, films, all that kind of stuff. And I took songs that were featured at this point, because I'd done it slightly differently before. I did hum in the tune or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I think the week before you were on, I just tweaked it to changing the lyrics completely, just completely making up, and you had to do it to the tune.
Uh-huh.
And you were bang on, mate. The lyrics were funny as fuck.
They were so good.
The tone was brilliant. I think you had both of yours guessed, I think.
Yes,
I know. Doom couldn't sit in his chair and he went so loud. Bless him, his mic cut out, and all I could see was him flapping around like Kermit the Frog on a Muppet Show.
It was so good. It was so good. Oh, we'll have to show the clip of that. But yeah, are they on your YouTube? Are they on your YouTube channel? These fantastic quizzes.
I think if they're not, I'm not entirely sure where they are. I'm not entirely sure if they're public or not. But I should still have some of the clips. If you are, I can send them over.
No, we might have to look at that for sure. But yeah, no. So it was Freebird. Well, it wasn't Freebird, but it was Freebird. Yeah,
Freebird, and you had Creedence Clearwater as well.
Yes, yes, it did.
What was that?
Bad Moon Rising, wasn't it?
Bad Moon Rising, yeah. Bad Moon Rising. And that one, I think one of them, I think it was the Creedence one I'd done about being a gentleman and closing your zip too quick. And we got a bleeder.
Yeah. Oh, they were so good. I loved those quizzes. And you were so good at them. They
were fun. I got to admit, they were fun. It was just a lot to do on my own, and I got to admit, when I first came into streaming, I was kind of forced into it a little bit by someone else, and I kind of attended their stream, and then I just kind of went, fuck it, But all the people that I knew at the time was through this other party, and they were very much sort of horror, and I'm just not.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as I enjoyed doing some of the research and finding bits and pieces out about the actors and stories behind the films and legends and bits and pieces, all this kind of stuff, I couldn't do it anymore. The horror side of things, I did toy with the idea of coming back with a fantasy and just broadening things out, because that's where I really am. I love Lord of the Rings and Hobbit is my favorite book out there going, and a lot of RPG stuff and bits and pieces. But yeah, I'd like to be able to do that. But again, I need a team to make that vision work the way it should and the way it deserves. It needs people in it involved, and there's so much of it I can't do on my own.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, if anyone out there wants to start something, a decent quiz, hit me up. Slip into my DMs. I don't bite.
Yeah, can confirm. No, definitely. No, you're right. And yeah, I echo that for sure. No, the quizzes were brilliantly well written, well thought out. And if anyone does want to build a team with Cursed Pirate, definitely give them a shout. They were so good. And hopefully one day we'll see them again. That's for sure.
All right.
So yeah, you mentioned first stream. So what was your first stream? What was the game you were playing or the thing you were doing?
So the first thing I did streaming, it wasn't really me. As I say, I kind of attended a talk show, which I think it was grinding our gears, or what grinds my gears, and it was pretty much just. At the time, I had a very good friend who I'm not very much friends with at the minute, at all. I haven't spoke to him in ages, and I don't think I will. However, at the time, the pair of us were pretty much the old guys in the Muppets.
Okay.
Do you know?
Yeah,
so the two of us together have a good joke, know how to make each other laugh, and just have a good bitch about the world. Do you know what I mean? So we made a thing out of it and had a bit of a talk show and did things like that. We had Dredd on at one point, King Dredd.
Yeah, Dredd.
We had the legendary moment where he was doing, I think at the time he was doing a challenge on his channel, where he would have a hot peanut in the challenges.
Okay, yeah.
And he had it, and then rubbed his fucking eyes.
Oh no, Dredd.
Yeah.
Good shout out to Dredd.
I love King Dreddles. Gotta love some Dreddles. Yeah, no, that was obviously he's still to this day has not lived that down.
No,
ever. He will never live that down.
I don't know the story, so I'll have to tell him. I now know what you did.
just drop in Peanut Eye. That'll definitely jog his memory.
Hey Dredd, Peanut Eye, and just see him go. Yeah.
Yeah, you know too much. But my first stream, I think it must have been like an Assassin's Creed sort of stream going on. Must have been. Yeah, just and I had no sort of real expectations really, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, as I say, it's like the curse. And I know a lot of it's going to be me, but my circles are very small. I'm not very social. I keep my cards close to my chest in the sense of my business is my business. Other people's business, if they've entrusted me with that information and it's not mine to spread, it stays there. That kind of thing. So, and I'm shite with socials. I really am so bad. Because in all fairness, my just fuck people. An individual will stand up, ask questions, that kind of thing. I'm all about that, but just mass, I'm done. So when it came to really streaming, I didn't have that kind of backing behind me. So I didn't have like a group of friends that I can send, my link to and have them come because they're my friends and things like that. So it was very much like a hermit announcing himself to the world,
Yeah.
With no real clue of like how to put myself out there. And it's I had no expectations. I've always kind of lived out so I am me. Don't like it. It's your choice. You have the right to it. I'm not going to make you feel bad for thinking that way. If you do like me, awesome. Let's have a great time. But yeah, and I know in that sort of limelight, you're very much, if people aren't watching you, what are you doing? And it's hard, and it took a while to get through to the affiliate stage, which was weird as well because I was playing a game I fucking despised.
Yeah.
Absolutely hated, and it was playing that game that got me to affiliate. And then I think, and getting there, I think was you think getting affiliate, once you're there, you're set.
Mm-hmm.
Are you bollocks?
Yeah.
You know, and and I got there and then just kind of died. Once I got there, that was it. Others like yourself, I've watched and seen how you thrived. So I mean, and I know it took you a while to even get there. But once you're there, even then, maintaining it is the ass, you know. And you'll see your viewership go up and up and up, and it could be in the hundreds. But I mean, in the grand scheme of things, to really make something of it, how far are you a partner?
Yeah, that's true. No, and like you said, it's the game, isn't it? And that's where it gets difficult, I think, isn't it? Where you feel like you're playing the game and the rules are also changing as well, and you're playing with a set of rules that again don't always make sense or are not explained properly. And it fucks with the head, doesn't it?
When they say play what you enjoy because it shows. And you know what? As a piece of advice at face value, bang on. However, if your likes and dislikes are like quite niche, and there's only a very small amount of people that kind of follow your way of thinking and your likes and things like that and how you enjoy it, then really that kind of advice is going to be a bit of a detriment. Or if your likes are, especially in with how all this works, if your likes are and you're a very sort of small streamer, and what you really enjoy playing is something that's being viewed massively, you're going to get missed. And no one's even going to know that you even exist and are doing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's amazing of an opportunity. It really is. However, I think for the naive-minded, it can be soul-destroying.
Yeah.
It really can.
I mean, it reminds me of a lot of the chats I'm seeing on Twitter at the moment. I know you say you're not a massive social person in terms of social media, but there's been at this moment of time, there's lots of people talking about like getting the best equipment, investing, going all that stuff, and then for what? You know, what if you don't succeed? Whatever success obviously defines us, but like you spend like £400 on all this stuff, and you're not even possibly even going to hit affiliate. And if you do, you might make a little bit of money, maybe not. And like it's such bad advice as well, I think. And you know, how much of it is invested? You know, it's a lot. Some people want to run before they can walk.
Even incorporating tools. I mean, take the one we're using in the minute being Discord. And that throughout the Twitch community is so saturated in like groups, you know, and things like that. And like, I think I mentioned this to you like off live or off stream, that, you know, I'm quite an overthinker, but not in a flappy way. I try and look for the most likeliest outcome in how things work and understanding like as best I can little bits and pieces of any topic. So when it came down to the Discord side of things, I wanted to use it, especially for things like the quiz, and have things like polls in there that I can use them for my Family Feud type round. You know, that they were my audience that I was reaching out to, and use it more of a tool to boost something else. But if you're just going to bring a load of people together, and the more and more momentum it gets and people enter this group, you're then looking for a problem because things are so subjective, and there's such a mindset at the minute of I'm going to play the victim because it's easier. And you know, and I think there's been a couple of times and a couple of people like have headed certain groups, and I've gone, just be wary. I'm going to step back. And I wasn't really even that big of a role in this group at all. But I'm going to step back because I can see what's going to happen, and it's just going to all blow up. So I'm just going to, you know, I'd rather not be involved in any way, shape, or form, or deal with any of the fallout. So I'm going to step back. And I think, lo and behold, that did all happen months and months down the line. Granted. But it's just a ticking time bomb. a mass of people with so much subjective mindsets and opinions and perspectives and all that kind of stuff. It's asking for a problem. Discord, I think, is a good tool, but it needs to be used in the right way.
Yeah. I think that's. I was just going to ask your opinion on Discord. Like, I'm not a big Discord person myself. We've had chats about that offline, haven't we? I tend to use Discord mostly to do like a project. Like, obviously at the moment,
I saw that as well. With you did the whole thing with the clips that you were reacting to.
Yeah.
And did you listen to it?
Yes. Yeah, I listened to it. Oh no.
Vegan living. Oh, I'd blow a goat for some bacon right now.
Yeah, thanks for sending me that. Yeah, but I do for that, and I like that though. I like having like a temporary Discord. I think the temporary Discord is great. You bring a bunch of people together for one project, and then dissolve it. I love that, and that's how I use Discord. And I think that's a good way to do it, because this, like I said, saturation is so oversaturated. Everyone's got a Discord, and it's like, ugh.
And people, more people, more problems. That's what you're looking at. You know, and as much as you may be achieving your goal by having all these people as part of your thing, whether it be a group of people that have come together to be a team, or a group of people that have come together because they like a person who runs the whole thing, all you're looking at is for something to go on, one person to take it the wrong way, and then the whole thing's done. It's the more sort of subjectiveness you enter into, and the whole as it grows, the mindsets is just going to ruin it, because there's so much you can't control.
Yeah.
You know, and like with just being able, here's what I need you for. Do this, and this is, you know, and then once it's done, close it off. No issues, as you say. You know, I try to do the same thing with the show. As I said, trying to get enough people in there to be able to have a wide variety of percentages and things like that. But just use it for answers for my quiz. You know, and make them the community, make them more involved, because I think that's where Twitch has a bit of an edge. It's not just like having Amazon Prime being able to like give you a freebie subscription. It's the ability to engage with those watching you, because you can't do that on YouTube. They can talk to you, but they can't really engage. They can't drop a sound in that either embarrasses you, or drop something in at the perfect time.
Yeah,
that, you know. We all do it. You know, I know I did. You know, you're picking sound alerts for people to drop in thinking, you don't know what, if the timing on that is perfect, that is going to be funny as hell.
Yeah.
You know? And you'll drop that in, and they can really engage with you. So that's where the quiz came in. I actually got the idea from something that went on YouTube about a real specific topic, and just kind of changed the topic and made it that theme. And that was its layout. But what I was able to introduce with Twitch was things like the channel points and the sound alerts, and being able to make the audience more involved. And that's what I liked about it on that platform. Yeah.
I remember actually, again, being part of that quiz, like what you set up and your baby, so to speak, with the quiz wasn't always reacted in the way I think you hoped it would be, whereas it was like, you used to put like little forfeits and, like, you know, let's flip first place and fourth place around, and people were like, oh no, that's too horrible.
In there for weeks, like, from the very first episode, that was one thing. One thing I focused on was the fact of audience participation.
Yeah,
because it was available. So from that very first episode, I had stuff in there the entire time, and no one touched it. Yeah. I'm just thinking, how nice are these people? Really?
Yeah.
We're in a horror quiz where anything can happen. You can take a full-blown Jigsaw moment and go, I'm controlling this. Yeah. Bang. You know, and then, but that was the whole idea, because I brought 4 people with all their different communities, because in my head, I'm thinking, this group of people are going to back Johnny Beard. This group of people are going to back Ray. This group of people are going to back Sue or Hand Grenade. And it's going to be community versus community, as well as person versus person.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, it was there and it was available, and I think if I did things more, if I continued it on, it possibly would have taken off.
Yeah.
But like I said, it just got a bit on top of me, and had to step aside.
No, that's understandable. So, what is the future? What's the future for yourself? Because Pirate, you sticking on YouTube. What you got? Any plans, or are you just going with the flow?
I have toyed with the idea of coming back gaming wise on Twitch. As I'm playing a lot of Madden at the minute, playing a lot of Fortnite. I've been playing a lot of Fortnite with Beelzebul.
Yeah, shout out for Beelzebul. Yeah,
gotta love a bit of Beelzebul. So yeah, I play a lot of Fortnite. And weirdly enough, actually, I'm playing a lot of WWE.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice thing to sort of sit back, chill out, and if you want to just create a random person to laugh at, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had an idea at one point, because I'm a wrestling fan myself, of trying to see if we can get like streamers creating their own wrestlers and making their own like wrestling like division and stuff like that. That was always like a brainchild idea of mine. It's like, if I had the time, I'd do that.
I'd be, if you want to put that into practice, I'm down for that. I've only got,
It'd be great, wouldn't it?
A new one recently, but I mean, the one I actually only got the most recent one because I wanted to try out the My GM mode.
Yes, for that reason. Yeah,
the most recent. Like, I'm like, can we do that online? Because if so, I'm we can do some GMing together.
I've not played a new WWE game, but
have you not done it recently? Just being able to put a card together because it's all based on ratings and how well you do.
Yeah. Might look at that. But I do mean to pick up the new WWE game actually, because I heard it's quite good. I was like holding off from it and was waiting for the reviews because they did the jump here, didn't they? Where they didn't make
it weren't until like the Xbox threw an offer at me. It was like 60 quid's worth of this game and some DLC stuff for 20 quid. I was like, well, you know what? Go on then. I think that was like a Black Friday sale or something like that.
All right, let's wrap up on like, is there any advice you would like to think about giving people who would be thinking about going into the world of streaming, with your very unique take on things, with the the way you've gone into it is very differently, the ideas you've got are very unique, very different?
I mean, it depends on what you really want to go into. If you're a predominant like a rhythm gamer that involves a lot of music, I wouldn't bother doing it so much as to gain any financial gain from it at all, because you're not. But I mean, my relationship with it hasn't been amazing, so I try to be as positive with it as possible.
No. Be real, man. Yeah.
It just do what you enjoy doing. As that piece of advice goes, as much as I kind of did give the cons of that argument, it is still kind of important to be shown that you are enjoying what you're doing. Don't worry that turn your viewership off, turn your numbers off, and just do it for the sake of doing it, not doing it for the sake of numbers and getting like feeling popular and that kind of thing. Just if you're going to do it, just you got to rip the plaster off and get it done. Go through your own journey. It's an adventure, no matter how it turns out.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Great advice. I mean, it is difficult. It's up and down, and I think there's that saying, I suppose, isn't there, where you probably won't realise the difference between your first, your second, your third, your fourth stream. But if you look back from your first stream to your 100th stream, and then your 100th stream to your 1000th stream, you're gonna start going, "Oh my god, I have come a long way," and hopefully building yourself a little community of people that like you for you.
No, the future for me in that respect, though, I mean, I'm currently taking a bit of a break because my American football season has kicked in. I'm playing and coaching in the minute, and just before Christmas, I've done something in my back somewhere that's caused me a bit of an issue, and I damaged my hand a little bit on Sunday. So I'm taking a bit of a rest at the minute. My last video came out on the 6th. You'll find me, obviously, I'm sticking to YouTube for now. I have toyed with the idea of coming back, so do keep an eye on my Twitch account. Keep an eye on this space. If anything's going to happen, I doubt it's going to be in the next few weeks. But it's just been something in the back of my head. Do I come back, and do something? I'm recording drums at the minute on YouTube, which, to be fair, as I say, is mostly for me as a learning thing. And I just wanted to kind of put it out there. It's something I can watch myself back and as I'm learning, as well as other people that maybe be in a similar boat to me that can kind of hold hope that the more you do, the better the experience can be. It's always been a thing. It's always, no matter what it is, if you're struggling emotionally or with anything physically or anything like that, it's always been about reps. The more you do, the easier it is to handle. But yeah, I'm YouTubing it, Curse Pirate. a lot of metal in there. It's just me drumming, blasting some tunes, hitting some skins. But my future's kind of open.
Yeah.
See where it takes me.
Well, everyone get following Cursed Pirate on YouTube and on Twitch. You never know where you're going to find him, but it's good. But trust me, I'm a big fan of Cursed Pirate. I really am. You know, no matter what you do, you know, you're excellent. You're a great human being. I find you very entertaining and a very you're very thought provoking in the right ways. I think you know you like to speak your mind and you know see things from a different perspective, and I've always respected that about you. So.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's been an amazing kind of. There's one thing I've got to say. If you pick up streaming, you do end up meeting some amazing people. You really do. You can't help it.
Completely agree, dude. Thank you so much, everyone. Hope you've had a good. Hope you've enjoyed our fantastic chat. I've enjoyed this, even if you've been partially drunk. It's been amazing. Loved it.
Hey, I could see 3 of you, and they're all amazing.
Oh, thanks so much, Dave. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.